Hello and welcome to the Recursion Cafe, where we play games from the discard pile. In today's game of Unmatched, we have Sunzida on the left and Aimer on the right. So, it's been a while. Those of you who follow the channel might have noticed that I've not put up a video in quite a long time. This is for a variety of reasons, I suppose. I've recently changed jobs, changing to a completely different industry, so it's taken some time to adjust to that. And on top of that, that job requires a lot more staring at a computer and focusing, which kind of overlaps with this a whole bunch. So I've had kind of less time and energy to do this. This won't be a return to form to 2 videos a week like it used to be, but hopefully it'll be 1 video once in a while, just to keep things ticking over and explore the new characters. As you can see here, we have one of the new characters from Slings and Arrows, so we'll introduce that shortly. On the left, Sunzida is playing Robin Hood, an old favourite, a ranged hero with 2 movement and 13 health, and 4 outlaws who are all melee, who like to dance around and do hit and run tactics on this very large map. And on the right, Aimer is playing Titania, a ranged fighter with 12 health and 2 movement with a melee sidekick called Oberon, who has 6 health, and she has a glamour deck. So every time if she doesn't have a glamour, she will reveal one, and they will have lasting effects, which we will see a variety of in this game. To start with, Aimer will begin with the glamour of invisibility, so all of her fighters, both of her fighters, can move through opposing fighters without being blocked, which has some utility in certain matchups, especially if you are worried about getting pinned by the outlaws. It looks like Aimer will move across the map kind of cautiously. Sunzida will run in with an outlaw immediately and attack Oberon with an ambush, defended by a protection of the fairy woods. Aimer chooses to discard the glamour he has immediately to cancel all effects on the opponent's card. It's also not the most impactful of glamours, so I think he's just pretty happy to get it out of the way, because he can't discard those glamours at will. He reveals a Glamour of Love, which means whenever he maneuvers, he may move an opposing fighter 1 space before moving any other, so it can just mess up your opponent's formations or distance management. It is a Met by Moonlight for a 5 value into a feint, so no effects there, but 3 damage does go through into Robin nice and early on, so down at 10 health. Big hit there by Aimer, and Sunzida does have the opportunity to respond, so it's an outlaw into Oberon, and Aimer just takes it into highway robbery, so that is the perfect outcome unless you can cancel that effect. So Oberon down to 4, not the tankiest of sidekicks, but as I understand from Titania's deck, he is reasonably important for the usage of his specific cards and schemes. So here is an attack with a Hunter's Eye into a Fairy Song, and Aimer considers discarding the Glamour to make that a 5 defense and completely nullify that ability. It also means that Aimer digs deeper into the Glamour deck, perhaps to the one he's looking for, and it looks like that's what he's going to do. So the next one, start of Titania's turn, she reveals one. It is Glamour of Jealousy. When either of the fairy lovers are attacked, they can, before playing a card, swap and become the defender for the other half. So that is obviously only useful when you have both fighters on the board, which Aimer has managed so far. So it looks like he'll move up and attack, and it's a 5 value Met by Moonlight into another feint. So no dancing away for Oberon there, but 3 damage through to Robin is pretty hefty, and already Sunzida's down to 7 health. It looks like Robin is going to wall up behind his outlaws, which may or may not help. I mean, Oberon is melee, but Titania is ranged. Sunzida will play Steal from the Rich and draw a card and give Aimer the choice, and Aimer chooses to discard the Moon Looks Down to make sure that Sunzida doesn't draw another card. So it's an interesting decision there, trying to keep Sunzida down to low cards, which she's on 2, so that seems like a good decision. Aimer maneuvers and considers his action. Looks like nothing too special, a double maneuver and a double maneuver from Sunzida as well, both looking to draw back up so they have options in hand. Here is a boost from Aimer, moving around to that zone to attack Robin, and it's a 4 value Whisked Away into a Snark, and Whisked Away allows Aimer to move after the combat, and if he discards a Glamour, which he may not want at this point, he can place his fighter in any space, which is quite a handy ability, especially on such a big map with a ranged fighter who can fire straight back at you. So it looks like this is what's happening, and Aimer just dances back into the middle, not too far away. Robin runs in, almost like a melee fighter, and decides to take a shot. And it's a piercing shot into But a Dream, which cancels the ability and returns the card to hand unless Aimer draw a card. So everyone gets cards back. It was nothing more than a dream. So here it looks like we have another glamour, which Aimer has helpfully put off screen, but luckily with the power of editing we can see it is the Glamour of Greed. At the end of his turn he can draw a card, he may draw a card, which is incredibly powerful and can really give you gas against draw heavy or aggressive opponents, which Robin I suppose counters. Although I don't think Aimer chooses to do so here. He's on 6 cards at this point, or 6 to 7 cards, and it doesn't look like he wants to, so that's fair enough. Here's another piercing shot, that same piercing shot, and Aimer cancels it once again with Protection of the Fairy Woods, discarding that glamour. It looks like he's really not hurting for draw, or at least he decides that it's worth cancelling that to keep Sunzida down on cards. So here is the Glamour of Sleep. It means that neither of Aimer's fighters can take damage other than combat damage. So all effect damage is out, and that includes fatigue damage. So a little bit similar to Khonshu's secondary passive ability there. Depending on the sequencing of your glamours, that can be incredibly powerful in the late game. His attack is as wise as beautiful into Defenders of Sherwood. So everyone draws a card, Sunzida gets an outlaw back, and Aimer can discard the glamour to draw 2 cards instead, but decides not to. He wants that protection from effect damage, which Robin has a little bit of, I suppose. His values aren't that high, so it's more just kind of plinking away. Here is an attack from an outlaw, I believe, and it's a Wily Fighting, speaking of effect damage. And so it's undefended, so 3 damage does go through, but Aimer manages to blunt it a bit by having the Glamour of Sleep active. So that means that Aimer keeps lots of cards in hand. A lot of them are red and yellows, which might be a tough position to be in. It's a Queen of the Fairies into a feint that would have hit for I think 6 at this point, but the feint means that it's just a 2 and is fully defended. So that is a shame, but there are more in the deck for Aimer to swing with. And here is a responding Hunter's Eye into a Parting Gift. So 3 damage does go through into a Titania, but Parting Gift, much like Khonshu's ability, means that you can deal 2 damage yourself, which is nothing with the Glamour of Sleep, to deal 2 damage back to Robin. So Robin's on 4 health now, Titania's on 6. It's looking reasonably close at this point, although not many cards in hand for Sunzida. Here is a undefended regroup, that's risky. A Hunter's Eye could have put her down to 1 health, but instead it's just a regroup and Sunzida gets to draw 2 cards, which he desperately needed, and then Robin decides to dance out of Aimer's zone so that Titania can't immediately double attack. So that after combat effect of Robin looking like it's very useful, Aimer plays Gift of the Fair Folk, choosing 2 different effects of 3. It looks like he chooses to draw 2 cards, and we'll see what he chooses with the other one. It might move Robin back into range. There's the 2 cards, and there it is, putting Robin potentially without defense against Aimer's attack. And it's a Fairy Song into a regroup and discarding Glamour. That is 4 damage through.
That was scary. This was my hand.
Damn it.
I was very scared.
Yeah.
I had nothing when I took the regroup.
I know, I knew you didn't. I knew you didn't, but I only had 2 regroups in hand. I was like, what the fuck can I do?
And I wanted to discard Sleep at that point, but I couldn't, because then...
Yeah, that's why I didn't want you to.
I can move you and then just...
That's what I was scared of. I needed to live that, but I don't. Defense? Oh, that would have been great. I would have enjoyed that. That would have been nice. But if I had drawn this instead of regroup and then hit you with that, would have been so good. Would have been so good.
It was very scary because it felt Titania favored.
No, but I think.
But I couldn't line up things.
Also,
I couldn't draw this and move you out of your.
Yeah, that's what I was scared
hide.
of.
And I never.
I tried going for him first because okay, as long as I kill him, he's not a problem. And then trying to kill him made him the problem. I was trying to remember whether your fate was only for Titania or also for him. Found that out. I should have, but.
When you went here and attacked Titania when I did But a Dream, I didn't have any defense.
Other than But a Dream?
Yes, that was my only defense.
Yeah, but he was like...
No, it was like here. I made a mistake, I left him here.
No, I should have... I was thinking of hitting with him, but I was like, you probably have cancelled, or you'll just switch with yourself.
But that was what I thought. I thought I can
you had Glamour of...
but I had just discarded it. I thought I can leave in there because if she attacks you, I can just swap and play Bara Dream. But then I discarded
That's
it
fair.
because I wanted to cycle with Lavers. But then at that point I didn't have any.
You're playing Alice.
Well, there we have it, the channel's first look at slings and arrows. If you want to support the channel, you can check out the QR code on the screen or the links in the description below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you at some point in the future. Take care.